Secret of the Mimic is filled with storytelling like we've never seen in a FNAF game before, and there's a lot of pieces to fit together, but today I'm focused on one story in particular, Fiona. How did she die? Why is Edwin hearing her voice over radio frequencies, and what is the meaning of 4625? I think I can answer all of this, but first we meet Fiona. Fiona is a puppet maker working at Murray's Costume Manor when the owner's son comes up to her asking her to record and use her voice.
Excuse me, can I borrow your voice for a project?
Oh, what for? I don't even know you. I'm brand new here. Let's start again. I'm Fiona, and you are?
Edwin Murray. This is my dad's place. But that doesn't matter. I heard you were a puppeteer, and I wanted to record your voice.
Oh, well, yes, I used to be.
Well, that's great. Do you mind if I record you for a test?
Yeah, not creepy at all, Ed, going up to your female coworkers with a voice recorder. But Fiona didn't find it creepy, and she was intrigued by all of his various inventions. Since workplace romances never go wrong, Fiona and Edwin end up getting married and having a son named David. They were a perfect couple, since Edwin was able to use his knowledge of animatronics to bring Fiona's creations to life, and he was even working on a program for an endoskeleton that could adapt to any character. Everything between them is great, until Edwin's father dies, leaving the weight of carrying the factory on his shoulders alone.
This is all so much. He's gone. He's gone, and now everyone is asking me what to do, and I don't know anything. I can't run a company. I'm not ready. I can't fill his shoes. He knew it. Everyone knew it. The company is going to collapse, and they're all going to hate me.
Bills start piling up, and Edwin is scrambling, coming out with invention after invention in order to keep the factory afloat. But it's due to this rushed manufacturing that returns and lawsuits start flooding in. He becomes consumed with work to the point where he even misses his son's birthday party.
Edwin! Ed! Get out here! You're missing it!
Just give me a minute. I had the best idea.
Okay,
This is the one. Bigger than the Cleanovac.
that's great, honey, but you're missing the party.
David's 2 years old. He won't remember a thing.
That's not the point. We have guests.
Besides, he's got plenty more birthdays. Next year will be even better.
Well, hurry up. We're doing the cake in 5 minutes, with or without you.
Yeah.
FNAF's specialty really is neglectful fathers. Like, are you okay, Scott? Is there something you want to talk about? One day, Fiona gets a feeling that something really bad is going to happen if she's not there to help set up Fall Fest. So she finds someone to watch David because, God forbid, his father watches him for 5 minutes. Turns out, Fiona's intuition was really good because something bad does happen and she dies. Something at Fall Fest started a fire that killed Fiona. We know this because in Moon.exe there's a statue of a wedding couple that represents Edwin and Fiona. But the wife is badly burned, with the Fall Fest snow globe at her feet. Now, I'm about to yap like crazy, so just bear with me for a minute, okay? It's been a widely accepted theory for a while now that the Mimic was somehow responsible for the Fall Fest fire. Well, I think that this is true. I just don't think the Mimic was the Mimic yet. I said bear with me. Thanks to Help Wanted 2, we know that Moon was at Fall Fest, which leads me to believe that Sun was there too. I think something went wrong with the Sun endoskeleton, which caused the fire that killed Fiona. After Fiona's death, Edwin completely crashes out because he can't run the factory and take care of his son all by himself. He uses the Mimic program he's been working on, but makes it so that it will act as Fiona and take care of David while he works. And I think he uses the Sun endoskeleton for this program. Look, I wouldn't be the first and I won't be the last to point out the design similarities between the Sun-Moon endoskeleton and the Mimic. We also see throughout the factory that Edwin tends to make multiples of his creations. But I think he used the Sun endoskeleton that was at Fall Fest for the Mimic endoskeleton. And here's why. Now that M1 is in the endoskeleton and acting as Fiona, Edwin is able to carry on with his work. The system works perfectly. Until David's birthday, when M1 fails to watch him and he chases his ball into traffic and dies. Side note, I think this is why in Moon.exe the sun that represents Fiona kills the baby owl that represents David. I don't think it literally means M1 killed David, but I do think she feels responsible for his death. M1 begs Edwin to create another mimic program to act as David, and he tries, but he just can't get it right.
I don't even know why it worked the first time, but it did. It's just not ready.
This is because during the fire that killed Fiona, her spirit actually started to possess the sun endoskeleton. We know something supernatural is going on after Fiona's death, because Edwin is able to hear her voice through radio frequencies, specifically the frequency 4625. This number has been haunting the community since the Help Wanted 2 update, and I think I figured out what it means. There's a shortwave radio station that broadcasts to the frequency 4625 called UVB76, and nobody knows the purpose of it. The station has been active since around the 1970s, and it plays a continuous buzzer that's sometimes interrupted by strange voices. Some people speculate that this channel can be used to communicate with the dead. Edwin uses this station to communicate with Fiona, which means her ghost is around there somewhere. I think her soul is tied to the sun endoskeleton not only because it caused her death, but because throughout the game, and especially in Moon.exe, we see this connection between Fiona and the sun. The F10N4 computer even uses the sun's face when talking to us in the alternative ending. They really don't want us to miss this connection between Fiona and the sun. So M1 works really well because Fiona herself is there, but M2 doesn't have the same result because David didn't die to an animatronic, so his spirit isn't in there. Edwin tries and tries to get the M2 programming right, but he just gets more and more frustrated. We even hear him lose his temper on M1 in an audio log, where he says that he doesn't want to hear her ever again.
For the last time, no, it wouldn't be him. Oh, who am I kidding? You're not really you. It's so stupid.
Edwin, calm down and give it some thought. Try again. Make another, and we can all be together.
All this time wasted? I should have been having fun with him, playing games and teaching him how to make things. But I didn't. You, I let a machine raise my kid. You're not real. What was I thinking?
You do not mean that. It is me. I'm Fiona.
Stop talking like her. You're not her. I never want to hear or even think about you ever again. Ever!
I think this is when he moves the M1 program into the F10N4 computer that later becomes Mexis. Now M1 is still communicating with Edwin. Either he changes his mind and goes down to see her sometimes, or she just talks to him through the factory. We see throughout our gameplay that M1 is able to communicate us in multiple ways throughout the entire factory, so who's to say she didn't use this ability to continue to beg Edwin to make M2? Somehow, M1 finally convinces Edwin to make M2, and he makes a version that mostly works. It talks like David and it acts like David, but seeing this is too much for Edwin. He takes out all of his anger and guilt and grief on the animatronic, beating it over and over again.
Stop. You're not him. You're not. Stop sounding like him.
Now, since the mimic is supposed to copy, this teaches it violence, or as Fazbear Entertainment calls it, homicidal glitches. And M2 becomes out of control. In an attempt to make M2 safer, Edwin takes off his legs, but little does he know, M2 has started mimicking him now. Since M2 has been watching Edwin make animatronics, he knows how to fix his own legs. We hear in the audio log in the alternative ending that M2 has completely started mimicking Edwin. He's copying his voice, he fixed his own legs, and now he has the knowledge he needs to repair himself whenever he wants. And we even hear the real Edwin in the background, seemingly trapped under rubble.
Journal entry. Too bad the new power test was a failure. Due to a minor detonation, there is damage to my office interior, as well as a small fire. Note to self, a portable cleaner that gets rid of smoke damage. Or better yet, a Cleanovac attachment. Help! M2! Respond! Emergency! Call for help! Daddy's busy, buddy. Why don't you go outside and play? Please! I can't move. I can't feel my legs. Speaking of legs, what do you think? I just finished mine.
M1 continues to try to reach Edwin, to try to convince him to fix M2 and install Cradle.exe, which will make him safe again, but she doesn't know that it's too late. After the events of our gameplay, M1 realizes that M2 is too dangerous and needs to be stopped, and it's her programming, decades later, that's fighting with the Mimic's programming in Security Breach and Ruin. This is why at times it seems like Helpy is arguing with himself. It's M1 and M2 fighting for control decades later. This is my first FNAF theory video, so let me know what you think, but please be nicer than my TikTok comments. I posted a silly TikTok trend and it resulted in hundreds of very angry comments for some reason. I'm fighting for my life over there. I also stream FNAF and other games and talk lore over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/lemonlime, which I will link in the description. But thank you so much for watching this, and let me know what you think and what I can do better in other videos, because I had a lot of fun writing this. Bye!